have you ever heard somebody say, or maybe you yourself have said, I don't have a creative bone in my body? Conversely, have you heard somebody say, that person was just born creative? I would like to propose that every single person is creative, and that creativity is more like a muscle than a bone. Hi, I'm Amy. This is Cody, and welcome to my home. Today I'm going to talk to you about creativity. Specifically, can creativity be learned? And share a couple myths that I think are big hindrances to creativity and some ideas that can help you be more creative. So let's think about what creativity is. I think about creativity as a way to make something more beautiful or more useful, like resourcefulness. For instance, I think really what helped me to be more creative is that I watched my mom use things in a way other than they were intended to be used. So 2 lids from a tin, she would put them together with a little brad, and they would be a nice holding thing for my little hands to hold all of my cards spread out in a fan so that I wouldn't get frustrated while playing Uno or something, right? So this right here I got off of a free site, and do you know what this is? This is a CD rack, but I will tell you what I needed it for. We can see from a very young age, kids just using their imaginations. I saw this recently in my daughter. She's a little bit over 1.5 years, and she's watched everybody using their phones all the time and calling grandma. And so the other day she picked up a carrot and she held it to her head and started talking to grandma in her carrot phone. The older we get, some things kind of start to hinder that. But it is true that you have the ability to be creative even if you think you're not a creative person. Some people will say, well, I'm just not an artist. I'm not artistic. And you know what? You can become artistic. You really only need a few things. That brings me to another myth. The myth that if you or I try something and we're just not good at it, then we're not meant to do it. We're not creative. That's totally not true. The truth is, you can become better at something. Use the power of the word yet. I'm not great at it yet. I mentioned I think that creativity is like a muscle. Well, you have to exercise to get better at it. It's a skill that can be developed. So what I'm going to share with you is a really quick exercise to help make your creative juices work a little bit more, to work those creative muscles. An exercise I did as a kid that I just thought was so much fun. It's called a couple different things, the squiggle line drawing or like stained glass window drawing.
Here's an example of what I mean from fireflies and mud pies, and you can see in Colin's drawing that blue shape at the top. I immediately see an elephant. How about you? Maybe it's an elephant balancing on a ball in a circus. You can come up with all kinds of things, and I think that's a great example, and I hope that you will give this a try yourself.
It's fun to color and just to see something that wasn't there before, all from some squiggly lines and some colors. So I'm going to give you a few other examples of thinking, people will say outside the box, but just seeing a different use for something. So this right here I got off of a free site, and do you know what this is? This is a CD rack, but I will tell you what I needed it for. I snagged this for a TP tower because in my guest bathroom I don't have any storage, no cabinets that would fit all of the extra TP, and my kids kept hollering, Mom, somebody didn't replace the toilet paper. Now they have plenty, they don't have to worry about it, and I don't have to come running whenever they need it, right? So this was just a way to think outside of the normal use for this item. Then there's myth number 3. I can't be creative because I don't have any supplies. I don't have a craft room, yada yada. No, in reality, all you need to be creative is your mind and time. In fact, when my kids come to me and say that they're bored, I tell them boredom is caused by a sleeping imagination. Boredom is actually really good for you because it can get your wheels turning. Sending them outside, they play with sticks. My kids ran over to the neighbor's house, they grow bamboo, and he asked to have some of their cut bamboo, and he made the most amazing teepee. I should have taken a picture. They didn't have any store-bought things with them, and I thought that what they came up with was amazing. If you want more ideas on how to encourage creativity in your kids, take them to a library. Did you know that a lot of libraries, like mine, not only give away snacks, which is awesome, gotta feed those creative muscles, but they give craft kits or even free craft classes that provide craft supplies. So definitely get to know your librarians, they're there to help you. And another thing is that they have a vast variety of books about upcycling or recycling crafts you can do with your kids. And you don't have to spend any money on those really, just save some things from your recycling bin. And maybe you need some glue or some tape or something, but that's a great place to start. And any topic of creativity that you want to learn, whether it's crocheting or something else, if your library doesn't have the book, they'll request it from another library. We just love our library. So get involved in a creative community. I'd love to have you in mine. Comment below if I haven't seen you here before. I'd love to say hi, and I love to respond to your comments as soon as I can. I like to think about creativity and art as not necessarily having a right or wrong way to do it. If you're trying to do a particular style, there are guidelines and procedures for doing, say, pointillism or impressionism and different schools of art. One of the keys to creativity is an idea called green lighting. I didn't know this term before I married my husband, but sometimes he would say things and I'd stop him and say, no, we can't do that. This way's better. No, you really do not want to add judgment to a creative process, because judgment, saying something is right or wrong, in creativity can really squelch the idea brainstorming. So green lighting is coming up with any idea. It's just sharing, thinking deeper, just, brainstorming. And you're not allowed to say no and veto anything until you've thought a bunch, until you can't come up with any more ideas at that moment. You can always come up with ideas as the process goes on. But green lighting is so powerful, especially with a friend, because you're coming up with just random ideas. And sometimes the craziest ideas will get you the success that you need. This is also another thing that collaborating will do. It will provide you with the resources that you might need to come up with a solution to your problem. So for instance, I was watching YouTubes of other creative YouTubers, and I was just so inspired. I had wanted to purchase a Victorian glass and cast iron greenhouse because I just love the aesthetic. Come here, bud. Are you scared by the storm? But that, was pretty cost prohibitive. So I sent my friend a text just saying, hey, this is my dream, and I would love to make a greenhouse out of old windows. And she said, hey, do you need old windows? How cool is that? Her dad had a bunch of windows he was about to put into a dumpster that he was giving to me for free. I'd just been on Marketplace looking to buy old windows, and here he had a shed full that I could have. That was pretty awesome. So another myth is that if people don't love what you make, you shouldn't waste your time trying to be creative. That's the wrong way to go about this. Have you heard of Dr. Seuss? His first children's book was rejected about 27 times at least. And now he's one of the most well-known and loved children's book authors. But creativity itself is really just a way to make something more beautiful or more useful. I've got another example of that. This is Teacher Better Than Paper bulletin board roll. I got this from Hobby Lobby. It is supposed to look like burlap. It's a ride-on wipe-off surface, cuts easily with scissors, does not tear or show staple holes, and it cleans easily with a damp cloth. I don't need this for a bulletin board. I'm not a teacher. But you see, this is a shoe rack that I got off Marketplace, and when I got it, the seat was amazing and beautiful and smooth. But quickly my kids did painting projects. This is completely delaminating, and I have picky kids. They like to pull on things, and this has problems. This teeny bitty slice in the plastic suddenly got pulled on and ripped off, and it's just not in good condition anymore. Now, why was paint getting on this? Well, I was using the shoe shelf as shoe storage, but also as a bench for our dining table. There are lots of ways that you can meet a need, and I think that thinking up ways to solve problems is one of the key ways that you can notice your own creativity and grow that. So I'm going to show you today how I'm going to use this bulletin paper to actually reupholster this. Ordinarily, I would be using a glue gun, a hot glue gun to do this, but the baby's napping, so I'm going to think creatively again about what I can use, and I'm just gonna use duct tape. It's gonna be on the underside of this. Nobody's gonna see it. Whether or not it's what people call the right tool to use, if it works for you and helps you complete your task, it's okay. There's no right or wrong in creativity. So let's get going. Another thing that I don't like is that back here, it has a button, and that's how it stays on this, but it continues to slide and scooch over instead of keeping it centered. So I'm going to ditch the Velcro. I'm going to cut it off and pull it off with pliers back there. I think one of the hindrances to creativity is that people can easily replace things. They can go out and just buy a replacement instead of thinking about how can I make this work for me. I also like the idea of lightening up the material. You feel the pressure to have the perfect solution or to come up with the perfect project. If you want to try to be more creative, just get started. Bad wrap job. And to keep it from sliding all over this, remember I've taken off the Velcro, so I have to come up with a different solution. I'm just going to use these command picture hangers. If I had bought pleather, like I probably should have, in the traditional reupholstering method, this probably would have cost like, I don't know, 30 bucks. Well, okay, so that roll did cost 30 bucks, but I got it on sale, and also there's enough to do multiple of these projects, which I need to do. So I can reupholster my 2 benches instead of just 1. But once the baby wakes up, I'm going to use this piece of faux sheepskin rug I got to cover a different piece of furniture. This started tearing up pretty much the day we started using it, and I'm tired of seeing it. This matches my stuff a little bit better, and I'm going to hot glue it on top of this to make it look a little bit more luxurious and not have any holes. So that's my next project. So I hope these thoughts about creativity and thinking outside of the normal use for things, I've gotten you to think a little bit more about how you can be more creative and flex those creative muscles to solve problems in your life in ways that can make you feel really satisfied and fulfilled by using your own mind and bringing value to your life through beauty, solving a problem, or maybe even creating a side job off of upcycling things. Well, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, click subscribe below, and make sure to hit that notification bell if you want to know when the next video is up. I aim to post a new video every Friday. I'm going to be editing this one. Might be tomorrow, but in any case, I hope that I'll see you in the next video. YouTube thinks you'd enjoy this video, and here's a playlist you might enjoy as well. See you next time!